Welcome to the Stream-A-Thon. Happy 2-year anniversary of streaming, gaming by, for, and with our fans. I'm so happy to be here. My name is Clifton, also known as Mr. Johnson of the Arcology Podcast. I'm joined by a few players here to play Misspent Youth, one of the never before seen or played settings that from our upcoming Fall in Love Not in Line book that we kickstarted earlier this year. So I'm super excited to be playing that for the first time and be playing it with the author who wrote the setting as well. So I guess we'll start our introductions with Ava.
Yep, so I'm Ava Rogers. If you're just now tuning in, this is my second game of the Stream-A-Thon. Uh, I am Rem Alternus's crowdfunding director. So all of the Kickstarters that we've been talking about all day, I am the voice behind the curtain. And then some. And like Cliff said, I was the one who wrote the City of Gods setting for Fall in Love Not in Line, and I'm super excited to play. That's me.
Okay, I
What's
guess
up,
I was
everybody?
picturing round robin here. He passed the
Oh.
torch to somebody here.
Go ahead, Chris.
Chris picked it up, so.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, your boy, Chris. I will gladly fill a silence whenever given the opportunity. And I'm kind of here pretty regularly on the channel, some might say. But yeah, I play on Tuesdays doing Shadowrun with Derica, who will be up here next. Or she's usually up here next. My bad. See, it's a routine. My bad. Yeah. And I'm excited to play some Misspent Youth with all these crazy folks. So go ahead, take it away, Darren.
Sorry about that. I'm Darren. This is my first Stream-A-Thon ever. This is also my first game on Rem Alternus for the Stream-A-Thon. I'm one of the devs over at Fragging Unicorns. So I haven't seen this setting yet, and I'm pretty excited to play it out.
And of course, Sarah.
Hi, it's my turn to hold the torch. I almost said chort instead of torch, so that's how my Saturday's going. Um, yeah, I'm CEO of Rem and really excited to be here for the Stream-A-Thon. Really cool to see it all come together because really it was the community and Kayla and Ava that put it all together, and so it's kind of cool to just see it happen. So hi everyone, and I think we have a cool giveaway, right, Cliff?
Yeah, we do. But yeah, first I thought maybe I'd bring up your recent discovery of your habit of collecting misspent youth settings. You were discussing just before we started when we were off the air.
Yeah, I'm the Uber fan apparently here. So I played in the first Misspent Youth playtest, which was a setting that we played through like maybe double-digit times.
So many times,
Uh,
especially if we've been one of the people playing and running it at conventions too. So
I think I got 4 or 5
and
under my belt myself.
and then I got to play in Palmer's setting. That'll be in the book, and now I get to play in Ava's setting. So it's like Pokemon. I'm just gonna collect them all.
nice. Well, I'm excited to play this setting for the first time as well. Now, as for the giveaway will be a drawing at the end of this game session, and you must be present to win. If you win, you will get your choice of an 8 fluid ounce liquid soap potion from original box set. Those are really, really nice soaps. So that is a pretty cool prize. How to enter is, let's see, hashtag RemPC is one entry, 100 bits for one entry, subscribe for 7 entries, and if you donate to the GoFundMe, help us grow, one entry for every dollar. Just include your Twitch handle in your donator name. So again, must be present to win at the drawing at the end of the game session. And with the reminder here to join our community on Discord and follow us on social media. I hope I hit all those points correctly here. What does hashtag REMPC equals 1 entry mean? I don't understand that.
You type hashtag RemPC in the chat, and then we'll make sure that you have an entry.
Okay, so can you just spam that over and over again and get a bunch of entries, or it's just one per?
No.
Okay,
No
good.
breaking rules, Cliff.
I don't see that in the rules. I just wanted clarification. I'm not going to go for it myself because I'm here GMing, but
We're playing an anarchist game, but follow the rules.
Right. Okay. So yep, that's another part of Sarah's role here is to keep me in line here. So all right. So only do that once, please. The 100 bits for 1 entry, though, you can do that multiple times, I take it? Or do you just get 1 entry no matter how many bits you throw in?
You can do it as many times as you want. If you want to give us 2,500,000 bits, I don't even know if that's a real number, then you get 2,500,000 entries.
Yeah.
Means
Okay.
What is in this prop? I'm drinking?
2,500 be like 2 million?
2.5 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 2.5 million.
All right. So with that, I guess let's go ahead and get started with the game. We've got a nice group in the chat here, so let's get rolling. So Misspent Youth, as we've arranged the setting chapters, or as they will be arranged in the book, they're designed so that you can approach it just never having played the game before. Just open up to the chapter that you're interested in and start reading, and it should get you right into the game and teach you the rules. So that's how we're going to roll with this, even though all of you have actually played Misspent Youth with me at some point. So that's cool. But we're going to still go through this stuff as if we've never played Misspent Youth together. That'll give everyone who's viewing and listening the full experience. So with that, I'd like to ask my players to pull up the introduction text document that I shared with them before. And we're going to take turns reading through it. I will start with the what is this game section. And then Ava, I'll have you do the introduce the setting part. And then let's see, we'll go sort of clockwise in Twitch picture order. So Chris, you can take the next section, which is the authority, and we'll go from there.
Sounds good.
So, what is this game? Misspent Youth is a tabletop role-playing game, but it's not just a game. Sure, it's a lot of fun, but it's also an act of subversion. Using your imagination to create a world where you can define, stand up to, and overcome authority is empowering, and that's what this game is all about. When the authority tries to stamp you out, you get to stand up to it and make it afraid of losing its power over you. In real life, this almost always results in pushback. Sometimes this pushback is social or cultural pressure that attempts to protect its injustices by identifying any criticism or resistance as uncivil or violating some all important code of nice behavior. Sometimes people are physically harmed or killed for standing up. We've all seen plenty of examples of this, but I'm sure there are a few in particular that come to your mind. This is the safe place where you get to stand up and fight back. There will be consequences, but those consequences happen within the story. No one gets hurt for real. This game creates a safe space to imagine how you might stand up to authority and undermine unjust systems of power. In this safe space, in this game, we don't just stand up against injustice and the authority, we subvert and destroy it. We destroy it in our imagination by creating a shared story experience together, and along with some dice and rules that only exist to serve as a guide and to prompt our creativity, we can continue to imagine how we can create justice in the world around us. I should say, don't try this at home, but what I really want to say is this. Imagination is the first step in changing the world. Whenever you witness an injustice, I hope that you'll be ready to subvert or destroy it.
All right, and so the setting. Welcome, mortal, to the city of the gods. Be you human, elf, small folk, or beastkin, you are here for only one reason: to serve and to worship. Yarazan, a shiny new god of gears, needs believers, and that means you. And you haven't been given a choice. Whether you were born here or brought here from another world, you are here now, and there is no way back. Unless, of course, you befriend the god of time, but he's notoriously hard to catch. Time is never free, after all. Yarazan isn't the worst of the gods that you could serve. At least, that's what they tell you. You're still not allowed freedom or choice, not in where you go, what you do, or even who you know. You are fed and given shelter, so long as you worship at the temples and serve in the role you were assigned. Step out of line, however, and the heavy hand of the heavens will crush you and all those you know. Will you stand up against otherworldly powers, or fall in line as is expected?
All right, Chris, if you would
Authority.
introduce the authority.
Okay. Cool beans. Yeah, the authority. The Pantheon. Description, like a coalition of gods who rule over the city. Some claim sole godhood of a planet of people. Some share their claim with others. No matter what world they reside over, all maintain a portion of the city. Vice, absolutism. The gods, in our case, Jarzan, knows what's best for you, whether you agree or not. Visage is the religion. The Pantheon stands at the top of the pyramid, giving power to their priests and clergymen who rule over you and define your beliefs for you. Victim, freedom. No one in the city is free to do much of anything. What you think, do, believe, and where you can go are all tightly controlled. And need worshippers to worshippers to funnel power and control their gods.
All right, Darren, why don't you read the systems of control that the Pantheon uses?
Alrighty. First one is mandatory worship. Every morning at first light, every worshiper is required to attend temple services at their god's main temple. During the services, the clergy disseminate new ideology, reinforce existing belief, and call out insubordinate behavior and publicly punish those guilty of disobedience. The second is God space. The city does not exist on any physical plane. It exists by the sheer will of the gods that rule it in the space between worlds. All mortals that are born or are brought here have no easy means of leaving their confines. The next one is Inquisition. Spoken of in terrified whispers, everyone knows the Inquisition exists. They have ears and eyes everywhere, but no one knows exactly who works for them. They seek out seditious thought or behavior and bring the guilty to bear. The Inquisition has stations in the city where the citizens may report suspicious behavior to be investigated. The Inquisition also has oculi on every corner. Tiny metal contraptions powered by a combination of gears and magic. Oculi transmit images of what they see to whichever Inquisition station they are assigned to. Enforcers is the next system. The physical arm of temple forces, they maintain and watch in the streets and enforce the rules, laws, and whims of the gods. Heavily armed and armored, enforcers follow a shackle first, ask questions later philosophy. Anyone suspected of defying the temple's directives is clapped in irons and imprisoned until investigation occurs. The final one is religious segregation. Each god has a unique way of manipulating their temples and believers and domain over a very definite portion of the city. Worshippers of Jezaran do not mix with worshippers of Zamira, who do not mix with those of Delai.
And the authority figures, they do not have a name, they each have a title because it's empowering to for us to, or rather you as the youthful offenders to give the authority figures a name as you encounter them. So you can name them after someone you don't like and would like to see taken down, or name them after whatever you like, any inspiration. But we won't give them names until we encounter them in the game. But Sarah, why don't you read through the authority figures with their titles and their descriptions?
The High Priest, the leader of the faithful. They disseminate Jerazan's commands and ensure that all worshippers act in line with what is expected. The Warden, the commander of the enforcers. If the warden gets involved, chances are the opportunity to talk your way out of trouble is long past. There are whispers that the warden is behind a string of disappearances among Gerazon's worshippers. The Inquisitor, the head of the Inquisition. The Inquisitor can pry information from even the tightest of lips. The Educator, in charge of teaching new worshippers the way of Gerazon, they choose what role each worshipper will play among the faithful. And the chaperone, the overseer of the day to day of new worshippers who are housed and kept together during their education. If you are not doing what you are supposed to be doing where you are supposed to be doing it, the chaperone will bring the hammer down.
All right, now we've introduced the systems of control and the authority figures that the authority, which is the pantheon, uses to keep people in line. The youthful offenders, we will gain one thing that is in your favor against the authority. So we'll go through three different options, and then as a group, or perhaps with the advice of the chat, we will decide which one of them will be available to you at the start of, well, actually, will come to play during the first episode that we'll play together. So, with that, I think I'll read the first one. Undesirables. The pantheon pretends to be all seeing and all knowing, but the truth is, the gods often just don't care. The undesirables are those who did not fit within the structure of the city for whatever reason. They make a home under the nose of the pantheon. They call the maze of tunnels and sewers beneath the city home, always moving, carrying their belongings with them. If one can find them, they're always willing to tweak the noses of those in control. So that is one option. Ava, why don't you read about the primeval spirits?
Right, so the primeval spirits. Before the city came into being at the will of the gods, there were natural spirits who existed wherever mortals roamed and were angered when the city claimed what was rightfully theirs, the will of mortals. They still subsist to this day. Not even the gods can overwrite the rules of nature, though they cannot act without the will of a mortal. Still, those that know the right words or rituals can bring the very forces of nature to heal.
All right, Chris, why don't you take the Gearhead Fellowship?
Uh, a band of those with an affinity for steam and gears who live in Jarzan's slice of the city. They can hack the oculi and warning systems on temple run buildings. Sometimes they do this for fun and to practice their skills, but they can be easily convinced to use their abilities for the benefit of someone else.
All right, so those are three potential options, but you only get to pick one of those. So let's put it up to the chat to see what they think, and also perhaps see if there's a consensus among the players or the youthful offenders here. The options again are the undesirables, who know their way around the hidden infrastructure of the city of gods, the primeval spirits, who can provide elemental powers at the request of a mortal, and the Gearhead Fellowship, who can hack the oculi and warning systems and essentially mechanical, magical security that the Pantheon uses. And they're also good with gadgets in general. So, which of those shall we pick? That will influence the story that we play tonight as well. Let's see. Thomas here in the chat says the Gearheads seem pretty cool. So that's one for the Gearheads.
I'm a big fan of hacking, so I personally lean in Gearheads as well, but that's just me.
Oh,
Well, I always lean towards
gears.
magic, so primeval spirits is my choice, but but I made them all, so I'll be happy with any. That's just my favorite child.
I'm down with actually, yeah, let's go with primeval spirits.
I'm a fan of spirits too, but I don't know, that guy in chat sounds pretty cute, so
Okay, so we have a KG10 House voting for spirits as well. Vort on spirits. Okay, I thought for sure it was going to be gearheads, but it's tipping here more towards primeval spirits. I think we'll give it a few more seconds for the Twitch delay to let everyone who wants to sound it on this, but unless there's some other outpouring of support for something else, I think we're leaning towards primeval spirits.
And the undesirables remain so.
That'll be the option that nobody picks because they're undesirable. All right, yeah, we'll go ahead with the primeval spirits. All right, now that we've essentially introduced the world, the authority figure, and the systems of control, or rather, the authority figures and systems of control, and the exploit, it's time to introduce the cast of characters. We have 6 different characters to pick from, 4 players here, so 2 of them won't be entering the action, though feel free to refer to them in your narrations. We can make them NPCs if you like, or just pretend they don't exist. It's up to you. But let's go ahead and introduce the youthful offenders. I'll read off. I'll just go ahead and read them off. Koro is a beastkin. They're handy with gear technology and already being trained in their final role as an artificer. Too smart for their own good, Koro nonetheless still sees the best in people. They can design and build almost any gadget. Renat is a beastkin and is small and fast, uncomfortable in their own skin but with a gift for prophecy. When they speak, others should listen, for Renat is an oracle, blessed or cursed with visions of the future. Mirthal, an elf, is calm and placid as a lake until something disturbs the surface and wakes the kraken beneath the waters. Mirthal can communicate with any animal. Jennery, a human, is cool and they know it, and they never shut up about it. Their demon manifestation gives them control over the elements. Vireni, a small folk, is smart, far smarter even than those that instructed them. Unfortunately, they're always stuck in their own head and can be oblivious to the world around them. Vireni is an arcane student. And last, Asan, a beastkin, is a badass with a smooth tongue and quick hands. If they can't talk themselves out of trouble, they won't hesitate to fight their way out. And their words are powerful weapons. So far, all the characters have gender neutral pronouns. Feel free to stick with that or give them other pronouns when you pick your character. But would anyone like to grab a particular one right away? Who would like to play what?
Me. Me.
All right.
Me.
Somehow I knew you'd speak up first.
Yeah, I'll take Vireni. Yeah. Like, I definitely trying to get my 1,000-yard stare going, but yeah, they've seen some things, and I'm feeling that right now.
All right, if you pull up the youthful offenders document, that's what I read those brief descriptions from. If you scroll down, that actually includes a bunch of pages, so it includes each character with their full description and their convictions and background and all that. So go ahead and scroll down to that and start looking that over. Who's next?
No one else is speaking up, so I'll go with the
Pick a
first
favorite
one.
child.
First
I'll
one,
do Vireni.
Koro. All right,
Yep.
Koro the Gadgeteer.
I think I'm going to go with Renat.
All right. Renat the Oracle.
It's like asking me to pick a favorite child.
And I think that just leaves Sarah to pick one.
It's me. Do I want control over the elements, communicate with animals, or vicious mockery?
Yes.
I think we're gonna go with vicious mockery.
All right, Asan. So now, everyone, go ahead and find your character document or section within that document. There's a lovely picture with some character art. And I guess we can't. I shouldn't brag about that while we don't have it set up to show the viewers. So sorry about that.
Your copy of Misspent Youth to see the cool character art.
Yeah. So now that we have your characters picked, let me go. Moving on to talk about convictions. So you'll notice that all of your characters have something called convictions. They are the part of the youthful offenders that empower them to fight back against injustice. Each character has one conviction each that represents their means, motive, opportunity, and specialty to fight the authority with. And then there's the disorder, a fatal flaw that might help you, but drags you down as well. When we start out, all the convictions are their innocent, untarnished form, but going up against the authority often requires sacrifices, and you're likely to sell out some of these along the way. Once you sell out a conviction, it becomes a twisted, corrupted version of what it once was, and you take one more step towards being just as bad as what you're trying to oppose. You can still use it to fight the authority, but it has a drawback. Whenever you stand up using a sold out conviction, the authority gets to claim one extra space on their next turn. Also, you can only ever sell out a conviction once, and it's permanent. If any YO sells out their last pure conviction, it's game over. Maybe someone will save the world someday, but it's not going to be you. In a one shot game like this, you're not likely to experience the consequences of selling out too fast, but just keep this in mind. If your group of characters, your cell, ends up selling out more than one conviction during this pilot episode, you're on a very slippery slope. If you win with only one sellout, that's a solid win. Two or more sellouts is a costly victory. That said, losing an episode is the worst. So if I could have Ava read the section about friendship questions next. It's in the introduction text doc.
Yeah. Every YO includes a list of friendship questions. These questions put another YO's player on the spot in order to help you figure out something important about their past or friendship with your YO. After everyone has their YO selected, each player chooses a friendship question to ask one of the other YO players. Write down the answer and save the other friendship questions for later. Whenever you get an answer to a friendship question, make up a new one and write it down on your YO sheet. Since this is probably your first one, feel free to take some time to think about it, but make sure you write one down before the scene ends. Before the authority sets the stage for each new scene, one player must ask and receive an answer to one of their friendship questions. Everyone should try to bring up the themes or ideas that are raised by the questions or its answers within the scene. But this isn't required, only the asking and answering is critical. When you ask a friendship question, you get to choose who to direct the question towards. The answer must come from that YO's perspective, but feel free to discuss ideas as a group if the answering player asks for help. If they don't ask for help, butt out and let them come up with an answer on their own. If everyone gets stumped, feel free to cross off the question and pick a different one. Friendship questions have two intended purposes. One, to explore and define aspects of the youthful offender's backgrounds and relationships to one another. This deepens and enriches the story you create together, which is one of the most important reasons to play the game. Two, to get you started thinking about some ideas and themes as you go into each scene, which provides you with a source of inspiration to draw from. Each included YO starts with a list of friendship questions. Whenever one is crossed off, either because it was answered or discarded, you must replace it with a new question that you make up. The included friendship questions provide some good examples, so feel free to use a slightly rewritten variation of one of them if you like. Otherwise, just make sure that it relates to some defining background experience that is shared with another YO, asks about how another YO feels about your YO, or questions another YO about the reasons behind their recent choices. This last one is kind of a wild card that can be reused again and again, so feel free to fall back on it if you get stumped. Another option is to just not cross off a friendship question so that you can ask the same question to a different YO later. This game isn't about overcoming the challenges of coming up with ideas on the spot, so there's absolutely no shame in doing whatever you need to do to make it work. The most important thing is that you always have a bunch of friendship questions to draw from when it's your turn to ask one. Note that at the start of your very first scene, every YO asks a friendship question. Only one YO asks a friendship question at the beginning of every scene after that.
Thank you. Chris, will you read the section that's called the first episode?
Sure. Episode 1 is like the pilot episode of any series. Its purpose is to introduce the setting, characters, and themes of the story, hooking the audience and setting expectations for things to come. It's our first chance to see the world in action and to find out how the YOs interact with it. It's also time to show off how bad the authority is and set the stakes to be no less than the fate of civilization. So this is your first episode and your first scene, and we haven't even talked about rolling dice yet. And that's okay. We're going to take this one step at a time and learn as we go. But here's a quick look at the big picture for you.
All right, we'll
Am I
pass
the
the
next-
baton to Darren.
Okay, campaign episode scene. Misspent Youth can be played as a one-shot, but it is at its best when your campaign lasts at least one season. A season is made up of 5 to 8 sessions, called episodes, and tell a complete story about the youthful offenders and their fight against the authority. One episode should normally take about 3 hours to play through, though you might take more or less time depending on how your group likes to play. The first one will probably take longer as you get used to the game, setting, and characters. Each episode has exactly 5 scenes. Within each scene, things happen. We get to know the setting as well as the characters a little better, and it ends with a struggle against the authority. Each scene also has a role within the narrative arc of the episode plot, most of which have special rules to express this. The first theme of the scene, or the theme of the first scene, is "What's Up?" Its purpose is to get the story started and set up the conflict between the authority. The second scene's theme is "Heating Up," in which matters escalate towards a greater confrontation. "We're Winning" is the name of the third scene's theme, which introduces a major advantage to the youthful offenders. It is, however, followed by a fourth scene called "We're Losing," in which the authority hits back hard. "Who's Winning" is the theme of the final and fifth scene, in which the episode's major point of conflict is resolved one way or another.
Sarah, would you take over with the next part?
Scenes typically take about 30 minutes to resolve. Every scene includes a struggle, which is either a win for the authority or the YOs. At the end of an episode, you tally up the number of struggles that each side won to determine whether the authority or the YOs won the episode. As you go on, the YOs will dismantle systems of control and defeat authority figures while advancing their goals, but likely not without selling out some of their convictions in the process. This raises the question of whether or not the YOs will save the world or just become the next authority by losing themselves in the struggle. But this game really isn't about who wins. It's about how you stand up against injustice and whether or not you can hold onto your values in the process. And it's about the journey of discovery, exploring an imaginary world, bringing its characters to life, and finding out what happens next. That said, there are some rules for determining who wins and who loses. If any YO ever sells out every one of their convictions, the authority wins the whole campaign. If the YOs have more exploits than the total number of authorities' systems of control and authority figures, the YOs win the whole campaign. YOs gain new exploits, dismantle systems of control, and destroy authority figures by winning episodes. The YOs win an episode by winning more struggles than the authority does. This first episode includes specific instructions on how to play through each scene with the goal of introducing you to the game. Feel free to regard these as just idea prompts and disregard aspects that will get in the way instead of being helpful. The details of all further episodes will be up to you.
All right, I'll read the making stuff up section, and then we'll get into actually playing this game. So the approach to the episode presented in the document is to provide you with a lot of ideas to start from. If you haven't played a lot of narrative role-playing games, it can be hard to figure out what you're supposed to do, but most people find that it comes easily and is a lot of fun once you get into it. And so, unlike the much more open-ended presentation of most narrative games, we provide you with some structure to help you get started in the form of a setting that is already made up for you, characters that will help you bring that setting to life, an authority you're going to want to take down, and a written plot to get you going. If you'd rather make more stuff up on your own, please feel encouraged and empowered to take the story where your creativity leads, instead of adhering to what's written. That said, there's a lot of blank space already in what's written to fill in with your own ideas, and the outcome of the story is not predetermined. Every group is going to have a very different experience depending on the choices that you make. When something comes up that you don't know about the world, like whether or not you have phones, or where you live, or what your house is like, or what your favorite snack is, or anything you need to know to understand the world and tell the story, make it up. As long as it doesn't override or contradict something that has already been established by your fellow players, use it. And with that, I think we're ready to go ahead and go into the first scene. Have you all had some time to read over your characters yet, or would you like to take a moment to do that before we go into it?
Yeah, I've been reading.
I'm ready.
Okay, sounds
Ready to
good.
rock.
I'm definitely good. I can't count the number of times I've read them while editing it to get the word count down.
All right, so scene one, the theme of that is what's up, and we always start a scene with a friendship question. So one WoW player chooses one of their friendship questions, direct that question to another player, wait for the answer. Instead of, in most scenes where just one person's going to do that, actually, since this is the first scene, everyone asks a friendship question before we begin, and that's going to provide us with a little bit of a narrative background and a icebreaker for getting into the game, establishing the characters' relationships a bit. So who wants to start? You'll have some example friendship questions under your characters, but feel free to make one up as well. I know you all have played this game before in other settings, at least.
Okay. Ava, which character are you playing?
Renat.
So, Renat, why are you afraid of me?
You're Vareni. Oh. Because I've seen what you become in the future.
I mean, that begs the question, what do I become in the future?
Wouldn't you like to know?
That's why I asked the question. Yes.
Too powerful.
Interesting. All right. Ava, why don't you ask the next friendship question? You pick somebody else or toss it back at Chris.
All right. Remind myself who's playing who. Koro! What did I help you hide from the chaperone?
I'm assuming because you're used to doing it as well. So it's two people helping each other out.
What was it? Was the question. What did I help?
Oh, it was what? I apologize. It was a gadget that I had made that definitely was not going to be acceptable if the high priests had seen it.
Makes sense.
All right, Darren. Who are you going to
Sarah,
ask?
remind me who you're playing.
Hassan.
Who?
Hassan, the very last one listed.
Hassan.
Okay.
The badass bird folk.
So, Asan, what game do we enjoy together?
I think we enjoy um good old fashioned dragon chess uh because you use it for like to kind of like strategize and to help like boost your perception of what's going on, and I use it to totally like cheat and sleight of hand some of your pawns away and stuff, and so like you always try to catch me
How dare you?
and play that.
All right, Sarah, who are you going to ask?
All right, Chris, who are you?
I'm playing Verini.
How did I get you out of trouble that one time?
Uh, so like I was snooping around where I wasn't supposed to be, and yeah, Asan can fly, right? Right? Correct? Question.
It doesn't say they can't.
I was gonna say I don't
Awesome.
see the judges saying no.
Okay, awesome. So
I'm curious to find out the answer to this question. I don't have it myself, so
Yeah, so
apparently you
so-
can fly,
and I was trying to
Sarah.
run. You now get to fly because you came in and swooped my tiny behind up like a bird of prey and flew us out. It was great. It was my first time flying without the use of magic. It was fantastic.
Well,
But the creepy part was when I said to you, think of how defenseless you are right now.
I love how you're
I've been dating like
just going through the friendship questions. Let's find out what happened in the past or what your relationships are like. And like Chris is like, no, you can fly. we'll just include that in the answer. We're just gonna give you powers in the friendship questions.
I like
love
that.
it. So
Keep
yeah.
that up, Chris.
So yeah, that hasn't happened before. But we haven't actually played a Misspent Youth setting that was a fantasy setting before either. So it's always been a sci-fi thing. So that's something that I think is unique about Ava's chapter and setting here. But yeah, okay, we know a little bit about their characters or relationships, and apparently one of you can fly now. So yeah. Great job with that. So the purpose of this first scene is to introduce our youthful offenders and the world they live in. We will begin as you have been called to worship in the morning at the great temple of your god, which has been pronounced now at least 4 different ways. I want to say Ava pronounced it Yerizan.
Yeah, it's a soft. It's a
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
As I read it, I mean,
I'm not mocking
can
anybody
pronounce
else.
it
I'm just
however.
laughing that it's been pronounced multiple ways. So it's just been
I pronounce it Yerizan.
It was so tempting to come up with a different pronunciation than what's been used yet as well to use myself. But all right, so you've been called to worship at the great temple of your god Yerizan. Attendance is mandatory, but there's an element of excitement and anticipation about this morning's service. The worship ceremony marks the opening of the Festival of Gears. Food, entertaining displays of magic and technology, and of course, the rides make this festival one of the best weeks of the year. I'm going to go into some free play, which is just some role play to play with each other, just talk about what you're doing, discuss what's going on. So here's some prompts to go from. Take some time to interact with one another as you're arriving at the temple. Describe the surroundings. Talk about what you're thinking and feeling. Every day begins with mandatory worship at the temple, but today is special. As you take your places on the pews and wait for the ceremony to begin, what are you whispering to each other about? What are you most looking forward to in the upcoming festival?
Well, I'm greeting those that I enjoy, and kind of like saying the words to the that I'm supposed to say when anyone like any of the inquisitors come by or anything like that. But really what I'm doing standing uh in the area I'm in is whenever I think I can get away with it, I'm using those quick hands to take from the donation in order to fund this festival day.
Okay, stealing from the church. That's it's a strong statement
then
about your character right away.
Yeah, well, and then like whenever I'm taking enough, like so much that whenever like the Inquisition or anyone I recognize as like an authority comes by, I just like throw a coin in like I'm donating.
Yeah, and it's so easy because they would just never dream that people would steal from the temple because it would just be so suicidal if you ever got caught. That basically the big old plates are out there. It's right in the open. No one's really watching it or keeping track. They'll count at the end.
Do that, please.
Rennie,
Do that, please. Please put those back. Renat's kind of like she cowers as she asks this. She's this tiny little thing wrapped up in a bunch of different clothes, like they all mismatched, and makes her look a little bit bigger than she is, but she's like really tiny underneath it. And she's like, please, can you please put those back? Bad things will happen.
But what back?
She looks pointedly at the donation bowl.
I think as we're introducing
donation for yours.
As we're introducing the characters for the first time, why don't you go ahead and describe your character's appearance? There's 3 items listed under the looks. You can just read those off if you like, or make something up.
Well, I am a bird person.
Because you could fly.
Anyone that challenges, yeah. I have an unblinking stare that challenges anyone who steps in my way. I have way too many piercings and a leather jacket and stylish sunglasses. I like that I'm a bird wearing cow.
Well, how do you know it's cow leather?
Oh no.
And what does Renat look like?
Renat is pretty hard to tell what race they are. She is a beastkin, or maybe a small folk. It's hard to tell because she's always covered in layers upon layers, and I kind of picture the way she dresses as like what was the character from Men in Black 3? The one that saw the future and many different, I can't remember what he was called. But he had so many different clothes on because he was prepared for every eventuality because he could see every realm of existence at like the same time. That's the way I picture her. But she's always bundled up in way too many clothes, rarely makes eye contact with people, and very skittish.
While all this is happening, go ahead.
So Verini, who is a small folk and has very large pointy ears, and it's just like is always like whenever they're looking at you, it seems like they're just looking over like your right shoulder at something, and then like whenever you go to check, there's nothing there, but it seems like consistent that they never quite look at you in the eye, and it's just 1,000 yards away. It's just always just kind of like out in space. And Brittany is just reading the minds of people around them because apparently they can do that, and why wouldn't they? And he's just ignoring this little back and forth, just like looking off, just reading people's minds is what Brittany's doing.
Koro, who is wearing robes with a trio of stylized gears, which is the mark of Yurazan, has rough, scaly skin, almost permanently smeared with oil and grease, and is always smiling. While this is all is happening, I have like a set of like earphones that help me like hear what's going on at the festival, but or the whatever the message is that's being delivered, but since I kind of want to give my attention to 2 different things, I'm currently like tinkering with them to like try to patch in like my favorite radio show in one ear and keep the message in the other ear so I can kind of multitask.
Right, you all have the chance to step in and arrive on time for the mandatory daily service. And today's worship ceremony is much like every other. The high priest leads the congregation in hymns, call and response chanting, and it concludes with a sermon about the importance of each individual to do their part as defined by the gods. As the final part of the ceremony concludes, a list of names are read aloud. The names who have gloriously volunteered for special duties during the Festival of Gears. You certainly don't remember volunteering for extra duties during the Festival of Gears, so it is a surprise when you hear the names Kono, Renat, Vereni, and Hassan at the end of the list. I am introducing the kickoff with a system of control, in this case mandatory worship. This kicks off the first struggle. So after the worship ceremony, the people cheer and start to leave, getting ready to go to the festival. About a dozen or so sullen volunteers, including yourselves, are expected to report to the chaperone to receive their duties. From the shadows, the watchful eyes of an inquisitor fixate upon you as you hesitate. So we'll go ahead and introduce the first struggle. Every scene concludes with a struggle. When a struggle begins, we lay out the struggle sheet, then set the stakes. The authority declares an objective, what will happen if they win, and the YOs must declare their hope, what happens if you win. We have our struggle sheet on a Roll20 page here. Not sure if that's going to appear for the viewers or not, otherwise we'll narrate it. But I think it will pop up on here at some point. No rush, but we'll need that soon. The struggle sheet just is a map of the different numbers you might be able to roll on 2d6. And we'll place tokens on that map as we play. So in the first episode, the authority's objective is predefined. You'll have your hopes generally predefined, but if you want to make something else up that fits your story better, go for it. Oh, nice. That looks good. As the struggle begins, the authority will describe what badness they're up to. I'll set the stage, and I'll place a token on one of the numbers, and that ends the turn. My number is predetermined. And then after that, it's the time of the youthful offenders to stand up. When you stand up, you're going to fight back against the authority and try to achieve your hope. What you'll do is roll the dice before you even declare what you're doing. You just say, I stand up, and you roll the dice. And whatever number you roll, you place a token on that spot. If it's an open spot. If the authority already has a token on there, then you lose the struggle. And if you have a token on there from a previous useful offender's turn, you win the struggle. There's some other stuff that can come up that you can use to win, even if you roll what the authority figures is, and that's where selling out comes in. We'll get to that when it comes up. There are a few special rules that apply to this setting and this scenario. Some of them are just scene specific. One of them is round robin. I'll probably put that in all of the settings in the chapters because it makes sense to me. In Misspent Youth, there's no initiative. You can go in whatever order you want. The round robin rule states that no youthful offender can stand up a second time until every youthful offender has had a go. So after that, you can go in whatever order you want, but usually it wraps up before you would have a chance to go around twice. Kid gloves is a special rule for the very first scene of your first episode. The first time the youthful offenders fail by rolling a number that's claimed by the authority. Instead, you don't fail. We'll just knock that authority's token out of the way, and you put a youthful offender token on there, and you sort of describe how some unexpected lucky thing happened to save you from disaster. That you can only do once during the struggle and only during the very first struggle. It sort of represents that the authority hasn't recognized your characters as threats they should be watching too closely yet. So you can get away with a little bit more, maybe. And a setting-specific rule here is freedom is heresy. The people who live in the city of gods exist only to serve, worship, and honor the gods. Freedom of choice is anathema here, and no crime is greater than heresy and apostasy. If a youthful offender openly criticizes the gods, the temple, or an authority figure in public, the authority will get to claim 2 numbers on the next turn instead of 1. So if you just walk out saying, this sucks, the gods suck, we're going to tear down the temple, like it's going to come down hard on you. If you remember playing before, we had a different rule called violence is ugly. That's not in play anymore. You can beat people up, just don't criticize the gods or the temple. So
Sounds right.
that's the basic struggle rules. I know you've all played this before, so you probably understand what's going on pretty clearly. But if you have any questions, feel free to jump in. Anything that you need clarified at this point. All right, so we'll declare objectives and hopes here. My objective is that, so the youthful offenders are not yet aware of this, but the Inquisition suspects them of being potential rebels or dissidents and are now watching them closely. The authorities' objective is to prevent the YOs from having any free time during the Festival of Gears, so you won't have any opportunities to make a nuisance of yourselves. So my goal is to have you fully scheduled all of your free time, whole festival. That's what's going to happen if I win. Your hope is, feel free to make up something else if you don't like this, but here's the suggested one from the text. To either convince the chaperone to go easy on you and give you lighter duties, not to either, to convince the chaperone to go easy on you and give you lighter duties so that you'll have time to enjoy the festival. Does that sound good, or you want something else out of this?
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me.
Works.
All right.
Sounds good to me, says Ava, who wrote it.
I did not write that one.
Yeah,
I just wrote the setting.
The pilot
The
episode
situation is Cliff's.
Yep,
Which is why I was super excited.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, looking forward to feedback from the author and other people as well. So feel free to let me know what you think afterwards. So since we're going to be introducing the chaperone, I think here, I think it's time to give the chaperone a name and a face. So who is the chaperone? What are they called?
Kat, if you have suggestions, please let us know. That would be great, even though I'm now remembering the last time this happened.
For reference, so everybody's aware, Renat was kind of, I don't want to say raised, dropped on the chaperone's doorstep and made their responsibility. They were the closest thing Renat had to a parental figure. So I'm interested. No. No, Tom.
The Tesla. Deacon Karen Hawk.
All right, let's pull up the tried and true fantasy name generators.
I was gonna say, if there's no other things here, I guess it's gonna be Teslin.
And this is what is his title again?
The chaperone.
Holy Reverend Luton Plunder.
Oh no.
Yes.
They're not necessarily a figurehead in the church, but they are in charge of all of the new faithful.
All right, I guess it's Teslin. Teslin really wants them named after himself, so
Fine.
the
I don't know what
chaperone
it's
is
gonna say
Teslin.
if we murder hobo this guy. Like, what is that gonna say?
I mean, if you don't wanna get hit, don't put yourself in the crosshairs.
And I feel like they're like a feline beastkin.
All right. So Teslin is a
Furry.
Teslin and their assistants are arranging work papers and assigning duties to the festival volunteers. As you approach, they give you a long and appraising look before reaching for a large stack of work orders. Their tight, smug smile and twitching tail suggest that you're about to get some bad news. I will start the struggle by putting my token on the number 2. And who would like to stand up?
I would.
All right, roll the dice.
No.
I'll mention that if you happen to roll the authorities number on the very first roll of any struggle, even after the first one, you end up placing your token next to it instead of ending it on the first roll. But you rolled a 7. So yeah, go ahead and declare which conviction you're using and how you're using it to advance yourself toward the goal of not getting the entire stack of work orders on your plate.
I would like to use snake oil salesman, which is my conning conviction. And so I'd like to say, I'm so sorry, sir, but it's my I'm really not feeling well. It's my egg laying time of the month. And like it could come any time now, and I'm just like I'm really not feeling well. You made a bird person, Ava. Don't look at me like that.
I did not see that as a thing.
Know that they fly, and then they have a monthly egg cycle.
Right. So yeah, I guess they look up at you, and it sort of surprises them. Their tail sort of stops twitching for a moment, and they kind of glance down at you, glance down at the work orders, glance back at the rest of you, and egg laying. That's you lay eggs every month? I didn't know that. I have specific instructions that you've volunteered for extra duties during the Festival of Gears. I'm sure that Yarazan will see to it that you are not too inconvenienced, but maybe I could shift some of those duties onto some of these other layabouts here, and I will claim the number 6 as the attention of Teslin, the cat chaperone, is perhaps shifted onto some of the other youthful offenders here. Who else would like to stand up? I mean, if nobody does, I just win, so that's fine too.
Renat stands up.
Roll the dice.
Though it's hard to tell because they're so short. Oh no, wait, hold on. We are using Roll20. I still had 2d6 out from my last game. Okay.
7. Oh, okay. Well, that's unfortunate for the authority. So you win with I guess the fewest possible number of dice rolls.
That is
I've been thinking over, this happens sometimes in Misspent Youth because the way the rules are designed, and generally speaking, I like the way the rules are designed and don't want to change them too much in order to avoid certain things happening. So I think what I'd like to do, one of the ideas I've been thinking about is if we end up ending a scene, rather a struggle, before everyone gets a turn, I think what we'll do is have each of the remaining people who didn't get a turn make a narration using standing up with one of their convictions, describe how they're helping, and then the person who just won the dice roll gets to wrap it up and describe how you achieve your hope. So let's see. Sarah, you went first, and then Ava. So Chris and Darren haven't gone yet. Let's see. How should we do this?
I was gonna say I can describe what
This is
Renat
game design on the
says
fly.
so that they can react to that in order to help.
Yeah, okay. Renat, go ahead and declare your conviction, and then we'll pass the mic to the other two who won't be getting a turn, so they can describe what they're doing to help you, and then you wrap it up.
So Renat is using their altruism conviction. We were gonna help out and pass food out, and I was planning to take them with me to do that.
I'll hop in.
Vernie kind of.
Oh, go ahead.
Vernie will look up. Huh? What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. What Renat said, and then like bows their head back down, bows their head down like they're praying, and then just kind of fades into the.
Which conviction is Vereni using?
Oh, I thought we were just helping. Okay. Oh, all right. So,
You're helping.
Use
but,
one of your convictions to help.
Oh, well then in that case, Vernie will snap out at the translator like, huh? What? Donation time? And then like, Vernie is very rich, so you'll use the rich opportunity. So I'll sell up to rich. And just flash some money just to like get them out of our hair and just yeah.
And which conviction is Kono using to help?
They will go with trusted, and they will kind of go off of what Renat was saying and go, yeah, like we already had extra jobs that we picked up voluntarily. It would be much harder for us to do those things if we did the things that you are now thrusting upon us.
All right, Ava, go and wrap it up. How your altruism combined with perhaps what was the conviction that you used, Sarah? Snake oil salesman.
Snake oil salesman, yeah.
How you pull this off then to achieve your hope of getting off with light duties during the Festival of Gears?
So, Vereni sort of describes some of the duties that she knows would have been assigned. Like, we were going to handle the trash, pick up the trash so that nobody pollutes the city with trash, and help pass out some of the food stalls and help with that. So that would take a lot of time, because that'll be like an all-day thing, right? And then she's trying to get those lighter assignments assigned to them. That way they can, and obviously Teslin, having raised Renat, is well aware of her ways of always helping others, and almost to the point of annoyance.
All right, I was surprised to see that you had all volunteered for so much work, but it's apparent that there's been some sort of a clerical error, and I'll need to shift these around to some of these other workers, other volunteers. There's a few other groans as you've managed to get light duties for the festival. You'll have to spend some time working in the concessions booth, but you'll have plenty of time to see the sights and ride the rides. And that concludes our first scene with the win for the useful offenders. So use one of these blue tokens to mark that.
And don't forget, because we've got 21 viewers in the chat. Thank you guys so much. And we have some giveaways that we're doing throughout the Stream-A-Thon. So type in hashtag RemPC for a free entry to win. 100 bits gets you an entry. A subscription gives you 7 entries. And donating to our GoFundMe page gets you an entry per $1. And we're giving away Pure Alchemy soaps, liquid soap of your choice, in 8 ounces, I think. So it's a really cool prize. And so hashtag RunPC.
Where's the GoFundMe link?
Yeah, so yeah, as you're doing that, go ahead and do that hashtag RemPC in the chat once to get an entry for free. So I haven't seen many of those pop up yet. You do have to be present for the drawing at the end of this game session in order to win. And as I reset the struggle sheet here for the next one, let's go into the reflection phase. After a struggle, we'll take a moment to reflect on what just happened. In this case, it will take the form of asking some reflection questions. So since it's the very first scene, we'll do the same thing as we did with the friendship questions and have each of you ask a reflection question. The thing about a reflection question is you can ask yourself and answer it yourself, or you can ask the whole group or another player. The range of questions are basically how do you feel about what just happened? What has changed about how you think about the authority? What has changed about how you think about one of the other useful offenders? What have you learned about your beliefs and values? What do you want to do next? Or come up with another question. Who would like to ask the first reflection question? And who are you asking?
Oh.
Sarah, I think you're cutting out a little bit at the beginning and end. I'm not sure if it's a push-to-talk issue or mic threshold thing. Is it the same for other people, or is it just me?
I didn't
Sarah or Ava?
Sarah.
Okay.
But I didn't talk.
Oh, I thought you talked.
I'm the one that said I did. I will.
Okay, well,
That was
happened
me.
with you that time, then, I guess.
I might have
Do
not
all
been
white
facing.
women sound the same to you?
I probably wasn't. I probably wasn't looking directly at my mic. This one's got a much narrower band than my other one. I got a new mic recently, so
Maybe it was just you all along, and I've been thinking it was Sarah. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So Asan, how has your opinion of Renat changed after that, or has it? I guess.
I'm impressed because like you tend to be the little bit of the killjoy, like when you walked up to me when I was doing fun things at the beginning of the service. But when in a pinch you can lie, and that's kind of intriguing. I wish you had said it with more from the chest, you know, as Chris would say. But but hey, steps are being taken. So I'm my eyebrows are raised in approval.
All right, Sarah, why don't you ask a reflection question?
Right. I'm gonna ask back at Renat actually. Uh, what do you think of the chaperone with trying to pull this junk on us?
Well, if he found out, he'd be really mad, and but I mean, it is kind of fun to trick him.
My question was, what do you think of him? Like, trying to get us roped into more work and being unfair.
Oh, I'm used to that.
Okay, fair enough.
It's kind of their job.
Renat's also maybe a little harder. They're a little harder on Renat, maybe.
All right, Darren or Chris, which one do you want to go next?
Well, I had a question, but I feel like Ava just answered it on accident. I was going to ask Bernat, do you think that they go easy on us because they raised us? But I don't think Bernat feels that way.
I don't. They might go easier on you, but they definitely don't go easier on me.
I just don't think I have a good baseline, to be honest. So I'll just take your word for it.
You're definitely the favorite.
All right, Chris, how about you? So this isn't, I don't think I gave you a text list of these. These are just sort of questions about what just happened in some way. So how do you feel about it? What changed about how you think or feel about somebody? Your beliefs and values? What do you want to do next? Stuff like that.
You're muted. On Discord. Not at the mic.
Ah, all right. That makes so much more sense. All right.
Hey, we can hear you.
Yeah, I was apparently muted at 2 places, so I was like, all right, so it must be the other. No, all right, got you. All right. Verini is wondering. He wants to ask Renat. Did you see anything? Oh, yeah, but like, why didn't you warn us about all these extra duties he was going to pull if you could see the future? He's kind of skeptical of your he's kind of skeptical of the breadth of your
I don't control when it happens.
seeing abilities. There it goes. You don't control when that happens? I mean that's fair.
All right, and that concludes our first scene. Is it all right if we take a 5-minute break, or do we have specific times for those?
Breaks are whenever.
That allowed, Tom?
So long as the tech is on the ball.
I will request of the chaperone to allow us a 5-minute break. Teslin. And welcome back. So it's a little bit more than 5 minutes. As you can see, Technomancers have stolen Darren's face. But we do have a giveaway to distract you with that. From that giveaway of your choice, an 8 fluid ounce liquid soap potion from original box set. You can enter with hashtag RemPC in the chat for 1 entry. Every 100 bits gets you an entry. Subscribe to the channel, 7 entries, and donate to the GoFundMe and include your Twitch channel. See, I can't say that. I did that again. Twitch handle. There, Twitch handle in your donation, in your donator name, and you get an entry for every $1 you submit there. So just to let you know, you have to be present to win at the end of the session when we do the drawing. So, wow, I mangled that. Hopefully I do better at GMing than reading off the giveaway stuff. All right, here we are going into the second scene. The theme of this is heating up. And we will start the scene, as we always do, with a single friendship question. Who wants to ask?
Sure.
Okay. Go for it.
Too slow, Chris.
Yeah.
Let's see. I kind of want to ask Chris a question so I get an extra superpower, but I think I'm gonna ask Darren. Darren,
Okay.
what's your character's name again?
Koro.
Koro. Okay. So Koro, how did I get you into trouble that one time?
Well, I mean, at the rate I tinker, I kind of get myself in trouble as like a distraction. So I think all you had to do was kind of point and yell and draw the attention, and I unfortunately did the rest.
Yeah, sorry about that, man. I just like, I was swiping that gold figure to melt down for cash, and I would have been caught, and I knew you'd get in a lot less trouble. So sorry about that, man.
I understand your motives.
Man, I am leaning into this like thievery thing in this character. I don't know why.
All right.
Bird saw shiny object, I guess. I don't know.
Going into the scene, in this scene, the resolve and camaraderie of the youthful offenders are tested as they are forced to work during the Festival of Gears. Since you didn't lose the first scene, you actually get to spend a fair amount of time, or you will get to spend a fair amount of time checking out the festival, but you do have to spend some of your valuable time working in the concessions booth. So, the Festival of Gears is in full swing with the huge fair, exhibitions, fireworks, and rides, but you're all stuck working for a concessions booth. Between the youthful offenders, one of you has to take orders, another has to prep, bag, and hand off the orders, one of you's in charge of the deep fryers, and anyone else has to help with other cooking and cleaning. Decide which of you is doing which job. Things are really busy right now, and the orders are coming in faster than you can fill them. So who's taking the orders at the front desk or opening or whatever it is?
I will take the orders at the front desk. I will be as people are coming up. I'm just writing their orders down already before they speak it. It's just so it's way more efficient this way if we don't talk. So just as they come up, I'm just like 1097 or whatever the the currency exchanges, and then I pass the order off to the back.
All right.
Renat's definitely the one who packs the bags. She is very fast.
Right. And I guess
And I don't have to talk to people this way. And I'm too short for the fryers.
so is the son washing dishes or you're using the deep fryers?
I want to use the hot things. Actually, no, I don't, because like chicken fingers. So no, I'll do dishes.
All right. And then so that leaves Darren or Koro for running the deep fryer. So yep, all sorts of different deep fried things. And
I crank up the temperature 5 degrees because I know how many minutes to shave off. That way we can speed things up a little bit.
so yeah, for the free play, we're just gonna have you interact in the concessions. Things are really, really busy. The whole mind reading thing is not making things run as smoothly as you want because people are confused and trying to repeat their orders, and sometimes you're getting double orders on things, which is just making it even more at once. But you're sort of getting it sorted out as you go, and Renat's pretty helpful too with that. As far as the deep frying goes, what sorts of deep fried foods are you cooking? What are the deep fried delicacies of the Festival of Gears?
It's like a chicken breast. Oh wait, no. It's like a burger, but it's shaped like a gear.
Deep fried gear burgers?
Yeah. Like maybe some onion rings to go on top of it.
All right. What other treats are popular? What's the messiest, most annoying menu on the item to prepare?
The funnel cakes.
Ooh, those are Verini's favorite though.
There are a lot of people's
The funnel
favorites.
cakes
A lot
are
of people are
definitely the
ordering them.
messiest.
Yep. Yeah,
Because
and
you got the
places-
chocolate syrup, you've got the whip, it's a mess.
Oh, the powdered sugar gets everywhere, and it's glorious.
Yeah, it does.
And Renat has to keep running up and down this like small little step ladder thing to be able to reach the condiments for it.
I love it.
I keep flicking some on not Chris. What's your name?
Vareni.
Oh,
Bad at this.
Renee.
Rennie, it keep flicking some on your shoulders while you're facing the customers, so it looks like you got bad dandruff.
And like he's taking notes and just kind of like licking the powdered sugar as he goes along. Like, thanks.
Yeah, things start to turn around for you a little bit where people are getting used to the whole mind reading ordering thing. And then like the word starts to spread about that, and it's drawing more and more customers, and people who are walking up to some of the other concession stands around decide to change their mind and come over here because there's some cool magic trick being done. And you just all of a sudden have just massive amount of people in line, a lot of people waiting. They're starting to get impatient. Orders are coming in really fast. How are you all handling this?
Renat, can you have fast hands? Can you come help scribble these orders?
Yes. So Renat's going to we're actually going to tackle this from two ends. Like Vareni's at the counter. Renat's going to be running back and forth, running out to the next person or the third person in line, writing down their order, running back to go pack, and Renat's just zipping back and forth.
Nice.
I'm definitely not doing dishes, but I'm quote unquote helping Renat by helping to bag the orders, but I'm taking a talon and kind of cutting the bottom of the paper bag so that hopefully they'll fall out for people as they walk away.
Please don't remake it.
Right, so yeah, those people are turning around and the bag's red, mine too, and it's just piling up more and more trouble for you. Darren, how is Koro doing? Is you've got so many deep fry orders coming in, and only so much deep frying you can do at once.
I was going to say,
so
I started
backed
off
up.
pretty confident and just keep my head down, watch the times. This is part of the reason you turn up the temperature in the first place. But the one thing I didn't account for was running out of room in the fryer. And once I can no longer fit stuff in there, I'm like, okay, now I'm having issues, and now I'm starting to panic.
Yeah, so things are getting out of hand. The customers are starting to get rowdy. No matter how hard and fast you work, you just can't keep up with so much business at once. Suddenly the orders begin to die off, though, and you see the reason why. An inquisitor is here and has begun questioning some of the waiting customers. Just as it seems that things can't get any worse, let's see. Hassan, you're in the back. You open up a crate of supplies, looking for some more oil for Koro, and you find what looks like an unconscious small beastkin wearing jewelry that marks them as belonging to another god. How do you pronounce the one Ximera?
Man.
I pronounce it Chimera.
Right, Chimera. So basically,
Godded magic.
they shouldn't be here. No servant of any other god should be in the Yerazan quarter. So the Inquisitor must be looking for them. Before you can decide what to do, the figure stirs weakly and speaks to you. "Help me," they say, and pass into unconsciousness. So we are introducing the first beat of the episode, which is the second struggle. This introduces an authority figure, which will be the Inquisitor. Let's give the Inquisitor a name. We'll leave that up to the chat to sound on. What should we name the Inquisitor? No, it can't be Teslin. We've already used that one. As we do that, I'll go ahead and define some of the other aspects of this struggle, such as the authority's objective is my objective. If I win, the Inquisitor locates and captures the fugitive beastkin. Your hope, feel free to make up a different one, but here we go. The suggested hope is the YOs help the fugitive beastkin escape the Inquisitor. Does that sound good, or do you want to do something else?
I want that.
I'm all for freedom.
All right, special rules. We have a round robin. Everyone gets a turn before anyone gets 2 turns, if Ava lets us have more than 2 turns. A resistance token will come into play after this scene, so won't affect the struggle, but going forward, whichever side loses this struggle will gain the resistance token, which can be used in a future struggle. So whichever side loses gets the resistance token next time. And of course, we have freedom is heresy as a rule. If during your narrations any useful offender openly criticizes the gods, the temple, or an authority figure, such as an inquisitor, in public, the authority gets to claim double numbers on their next turn. So that's it for the special rules. Nothing terribly new there, except for the kid gloves are off. No reroll this time, even though you didn't even need to use it last time. It's still gone. So I will begin the struggle. Here we go. The fugitive beastkin is suffering from some unknown injury and is helpless as the Inquisitor continues searching for them. It's only a matter of time before they look here and find them. You don't know what this person has done or how they got here, but you do know that without your help, they're doomed. I will claim the number 3 on the struggle board. Who would like to stand up?
I'll stand up.
All right, roll those dice.
Roll in some dice. Got a 6.
6. All right, go ahead and choose a conviction. Describe how you're using that conviction to further your goal of, or your hope rather, of helping this beastkin escape the Inquisitor.
I will once again use magic, because Veroni has also been trained by priest of Zamera, or Hemera. He's going to try to use some magic to cast an illusion, make them invisible. Like shh, and
right.
make them fade into the darkness.
The invisibility spell works perfectly. They're totally hidden. No way they could be spotted. However, one of you is looking out toward the front. Let's see. We'll have it be names. Renat. You can see the Inquisitor suddenly reach in their pocket as if they've been startled by something and take out a glowing object. And then they hold it up and start looking around. Apparently, they've got some sort of a thing for tracking active magic in some way. So I will claim the number 7.
Don't like that.
Who would like to stand up?
Yes, please.
Roll the dice. All right, 11. We're going to play this out. Not going to wrap it up so quickly. Which conviction are you using, and how are you being helpful with it?
I'm going to use sneaky. I have quick hands, quick feet, and quick wit are all that Asan needs. So with my quick hands, I'm going to kind of I'm gonna kind of rip off the like medallions and stuff like that for the naughty god, and throw them into the like throw deep my hands deeply into like the frozen fries, the big vat of them, so that like they're buried under fries, so that I can hide all of the proof of his infidelity if he gets.
All right, so yeah, you've got that stuff hidden. It's no longer on their person. That's working. However, the Inquisitor is still coming closer, holding up their glowing object, using it to triangulate or otherwise track down the source. Looks like they're moving ever closer towards the concession booth. And at that point you also realize, well, they won't have the Chimera markings on them. They also don't have any, they don't really look like they're from Yerazan's area either. Their clothing, manner of dress, they lack holy symbols. So it's not as thorough of a disguise as you might have initially hoped. I'll claim the number 10.
I'll stand up.
All right, roll the dice.
5.
Ooh, 5.
I'm going to use. Yeah, I think altruism fits the best here. Because she's gonna scamper off into the back, and one of her outer layers is going to be shed, and she's going to wrap up this little beastkin in it, and try and make it appear like this is just a small child that was hungry, and I have been feeding them, and that's what I'm doing. That's what's going on here.
Okay, so yeah, you've got them wrapped up and looking like a baby, and also invisible inside the thing. And the Inquisitor moves up to the front desk or the ordering station of the concession booth, which is no longer a popular place for people to hang out. And they found other parts of the fair to go check out and festival because Inquisitors tend to ruin the mood of a party. And they step up to let's see who's at the front taking orders right now.
It is I.
All right, looks down at you. Small folk. Vereni, is it?
Yes. How did you know?
I know many things. I know you're hiding something here that I'm looking for. And I'll claim the number 4. And I think only one person hasn't stood up yet, so that leaves Koro.
Yes, I will stand up. I roll first before I pick, right?
Yep. 6. Well, darn. That's going to
Yes!
be a clean win for the youthful offenders. How disappointing. However, I, as the authority, will gain the consolation prize of the resistance token.
Feel so sorry for you.
She's lying,
Yes.
by the way.
You should.
Equally.
So with that, yeah, it's score is 2, youthful offenders, authority 0. So doing pretty good on that front. I guess the authority needs to get their ass in gear. But
That's okay.
you've achieved your hope of helping the fugitive beastkin escape the Inquisitor. So Darren, well, actually, who rolled a 6 before?
It was Vereni.
And what conviction did you use for that?
Magic. I turned them invisible.
All right, so between Vereni's magic abilities and your whatever conviction you're going to use, describe how you pull it off.
I'm gonna go with trusted again here. I'm gonna walk up behind them, and I'm gonna look at the Inquisitor, and I'm gonna go, with all due respect, Inquisitor, if you look around, like, we are in over our heads at this concession stand. We literally just finished a huge rush. We haven't had time to do anything bad or hide people, even if we wanted to.
Yeah, the Inquisitor looks at you, looks at Ferretti. This look like they're about to declare a death sentence or something, and says, "I'll have a gear burger and one of those cone things."
Of course.
Coming right up, sir. And I'll nervously go back over to the fryer as I resuffer the panic that I just got rid of.
In the meantime, yeah, you're able to slip away as the Inquisitor wanders off, enjoying his deep fried goodness. And you have won the second struggle. So for the reflection phase, instead of asking the reflection questions, we are going to instead define the episode question. Every episode has one sort of big question that's sort of decided by the end of the episode. And it's answered sort of independently of who wins and who loses. It's sort of based on the narrative story events that we explore and create together. So I have some suggestions for what could be the episode question, or you can make one up. Generally speaking, it's the big deal question of like, do the youthful offenders win, or how do they win? Let's be a little bit more specific. Some of the examples I'll give is who is this mysterious fugitive, and what does their arrival mean for the youthful offenders and worshippers of Yarazan? Will the youthful offenders find a way to resist the Inquisition without being branded as apostates? Does Yarazan really want their worshippers to live under such oppression? Those are a few that I could think of based on the setting. You can pick one of those, or make one up.
I like the first one.
Alrighty. Sounds
Yeah,
good
the
to
first
me.
two were my
So yeah, like who is this this stranger?
I'm
What does their
realizing-
arrival mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we'll actually find out who the mysterious fugitive is in the next scene. So maybe that's not the best thing for me to have written in for a suggestion for the question. But yeah, what does the arrival of this fugitive mean for you and the worshippers of Yarazan? And that's it for scene 2. We have 3 more scenes to go. I can still win this, but I'm going to have to pull off 3 wins against the rest of you. So I think my objective is going to be less about winning and more about making it hurt. But going into scene 3, the theme of this scene is we're winning. Before we go into the scene, we will start, as we always do, with a friendship question. Who would like to ask one? I know Sarah would, but you did last time, so.
I will.
All right. And who are you asking?
I am going to be asking Koro. Hey, Koro, why do my powers worry you?
Oh,
One more
we
time?
just got a message from. Oh,
Oh, I was saying, Koro, why do my powers worry you?
Because the extent of my knowledge is strictly technology, and you work more in magic. And that confuses me because it's something that I can't understand, and I understand most things.
Yeah. I mean, I can teach you sometime.
We'll see. More responsibility equals more problems.
Fair enough.
All right, so in this scene, the youthful offenders will find out who the fugitive beastkin is. Since you won the previous scene, the beastkin is not in the hands of the Inquisition, so yay, go you, I guess. And setting the scene and what happens here is largely going to be influenced by what you chose for your exploit. So, as far as the exploits go, you chose Primeval Spirits. So in this scene, we'll find out about the fugitive and learn that they are a priest that serves the primeval spirits. They dream of a day when the god space is returned to its natural state and all who live can be free. They're willing to teach the Wyos how to contact the elemental primal spirits for their aid. So that's something that will play out in the opening scene here. You have gone someplace safe to discuss what has happened and what to do next. So describe what you're doing, how you feel about what's happened. Actually, more specifically, where we are and what's going on in the first 5 seconds of the scene as the fugitive is about to wake up.
I feel like maybe we brought them back to our quarters because like everybody else is out and enjoying the festival, and so there's less likely to be people here. And if if there is, then I can just I mean, tell the chaperone that I'm helping them.
Do you see disaster in our future? He kind of like looks kind of like past you, just kind of like intensely.
And could go either way still.
Good enough for me. He kind of throws his shoulders up.
There's a bit of a groan as the fugitive stirs and they open up their eyes. What sort of beastkin is this? Let's define that. Any sort of critter type, but humanoid, I take it?
Chipmunk.
They're armadillo. Ah, okay.
All right, chipmunk.
All right. So,
Yeah, it's a little chipmunk style beastkin. And they stir and look up, look around. Oh, where am I? How did I get here?
I
You're
am
safe?
God. He says.
Stop it,
I forgot
Verini!
I mean, just okay. I was just trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
You're safe? Well, ish. You're in the city of Gears, Yerzan's area of influence, I guess.
Oh, good. It worked.
How did you get here?
I was brought here by the spirits. The primeval spirits. The ones the gods usurped this place from. You've
Do they
never
only go
heard
one
anyone
way, or
speak so openly, like, heretical before in your life. Sorry, go ahead.
It's cool. I like this guy. Do they only do one-way tickets, or is there a bilateral movement to get out of this hellhole?
Renat looks very, very nervous, and they scurry over to the door, and they're looking around, making sure nobody's nearby.
Ah, yes. My words make you nervous.
If other people hear them?
That is why they are spoken, though. They must be spread. The gods do not. They do not own this place. They have stolen it, and they have stolen us. I am here to bring you freedom.
I have seen it. This place will eventually return to what it was before. But that... I don't know if now is the time yet.
Now is the time, or as fast as we can arrange it. It has been an imbalance for so long. So many people, their freedom taken. The spirits call out for freedom. They call out for destruction. And I am their agent. You too could be the agents of the spirits, if you choose. For they are powerful.
How do I do that? Renat's leading in closer.
All you need know is how to ask. I can teach you. You can call upon nature itself. The gods will be powerless against us.
So Verini whips out a notebook, and as soon as he starts talking about teaching, and he is ready and waiting to learn new things. But he doesn't say anything. He's just kind of like, "All right, I'm waiting."
I've seen what you're talking about. it everything happens in cycles that I've seen. So the city raises, and then eventually the spirits take back what was theirs.
When you speak
How
of
do you know that it's the
cycles,
time?
they are a natural thing. What the gods have done.
Yeah,
They are
nature is,
freezing the cycle. They are keeping it from turning.
or they're a part of it.
What you see as inevitability only occurs as a result of the actions taken to bring it about.
I'm sorry, guys. I know your jobs are to worry and stuff like that, and I look at Renat specifically, but I'm like, he's telling us that we could learn how to control magic spirits. So why are we arguing right now?
Not control. Request. We are happy to aid us against the gods, but you must
I'm not
ask them.
arguing.
So do we say please?
This is how you say please. And they make some sort of weird sounding sound.
So where is the emphasis in this sound? He asks again. Like, can you repeat it?
Yeah, they sort of go over and repeat the sound a few times.
Well, thank you. And then he holds it open to Hassan. He's like, all right, repeat it.
So you start learning all these different words, sort of a new language. There's some gestures and things to think and imagine in your mind as well. It's not just a matter of chanting something. It's all very entrancing, and you spend some time learning. And then they clap and say, "Good, good. I need to rest now. Go out and use these words. Call upon the spirits and spread the word. Tell the people they are free if they choose to be. Go and help the spirits do what they wish, what they want, what must happen, and then I will teach you more."
Oh, more teaching? Okay. And so with that, for Brittany, he shuts the book, and it's like we gotta free people. All right.
Here,
He starts.
you can use my bunk. No, nobody will question it.
Thank you. I will rest here. I'm glad the spirits brought me to the right place. Trust them, and they will guide you well.
Cool.
And
Do you think maybe it's the spirits that give me my visions?
I do not know.
Okay.
Can you ask your visions where you get your visions from?
It doesn't work like that.
If it is, you should be able to learn how to ask for the visions, or maybe even clarifications. I will teach you more if you show that you have the resolve to put these words to use.
Okay. Oh, okay. So here's what we do. We summon the spirits, or request their aid. As right? And then you can ask if that's where you get your visions from. I mean, after we save all these people.
All right, so we're going to go into the third struggle now. The third struggle is a bit different than the ones before because you don't have events sort of thrust upon you. This is sort of your opportunity to fight back against the authority on your own terms. You have this new exploit of the primeval spirits, as well as your own abilities. Looks like we lost Darren, technical difficulties and whatnot. So, so his character apparently, well, we're not sure what'll happen. Maybe we'll decide later. We'll leave it open for now. But why don't you go ahead and decide what you'd like to do by declaring your hope. So the fugitive has asked you to do something to demonstrate your powers or spread the word or help the spirits accomplish their goals. It's kind of vague, but not completely vague. You each have things you might want to accomplish. What is the hope you'd like to settle on? One hope might be that Renat finds out more about the source of their visions. That's a bit more personal, I guess, but it could work.
Honestly, Renat's goal would be more to helping people. Like, I'm not sure how to work that. You guys have anything? Ideas?
Maybe we can send a message somehow to whisper this word when they have privacy, and that way the spirits know how many people are on our side to get this done.
Ooh, maybe you can fly me around, and then I can do the like I'm God thing again, but in people's heads, and then I can whisper the words into their brains.
So for setting the hope, don't worry too much about the how, just more of the what.
Oh yeah,
We want to spread the word.
Okay, so you want to spread the word about the primeval spirits.
And identify allies, I'd say.
Okay, spread the word and gain allies. Okay, so my objective then is that this heresy ends up getting discovered by the Inquisition, and they have a pretty good idea who's behind it. So you'll be discovered and put in danger. So as far as special rules go, we got round robin. Everyone gets a turn to stand up before anyone gets to stand up twice. Freedom is heresy is still in play, so criticize the gods, the temple, or the authority figures in public, and I get to claim 2 numbers instead of just 1. The resistance token is in play, and I have it as the authority figure. I can use the resistance token to make you re-roll the dice. However, if I do, then I also have to give you the resistance token. Whoever loses this struggle gets the resistance token for the next struggle. And oh yeah, if you use you can use the resistance token to re-roll your own dice. But again, every time it's used, it changes hands. It can't be used more than once on any one die roll, so no back and forth on the same dice roll. And the last special rules is you have an exploit-specific bonus. Since you chose primeval spirits, once per struggle, you can call upon the aid of the spirits after you place a token. When you do that, you remove one of the authority's tokens from the struggle sheet. And narratively, you could describe how the spirits are doing some funky magic spirit nature powers to undermine the god's power. But again, once per struggle, not once per character. It's for the whole group. You get to call upon the spirits to knock an authority token off the board. All right,
Okay.
so starting the struggle.
And is
sorry, go ahead.
That's once per, like, as a group, or
Yes, once per as a group per struggle.
Right.
We'll see if it's. I guess we'll bit of a play test here. We'll see if this turns out to be too powerful. But there's a separate special rule depending on which exploit that you chose. Do you want to hear the other ones?
Yes.
Okay, so if you had picked the undesirables, you can use the assistance of them to move about unseen or get access to that which you should not be able to access. After you place a token, you can then rearrange all the tokens on the struggle sheet to any numbers you like. But you still have to end up with one token per number, and you have to like use them all. You can't just make them disappear. So once per struggle, you can shift things around on the board, make all the authority numbers the bad ones that aren't as likely to come up. The other option is for the Gearhead Fellowship. Once per struggle, you can rely upon the assistance of the Gearhead Fellowship. After rolling the dice, you re-roll one of your 2 dice. So it's kind of a partial re-roll.
Interesting.
But again, reminding of yours, Primeval Spirits, once per struggle. After you place a token, you can call upon the aid of the spirits to undermine the god's power and remove an authority token from the board. I will open the struggle here by saying, all right, you found some found out about the primeval spirits. You've rescued this fugitive, but the Inquisitors are on the lookout for them, watching for any signs of unusual events that might lead them to their quarry. And your chipmunk beastkin mentor also seems rather taxed by their travels and their mysterious injuries. It doesn't seem that they're going to be likely to do much on their own right now. So with that, I will start by claiming the number 4. Who would like to stand up?
Hey, Will.
Roll the dice.
Keep trying to reach for my physical dice. 7.
7. Nice. Okay, go ahead and declare your conviction and tell us what you're doing with it.
Okay, I am going to use unsupervised, because Renat, having been raised by the chaperone, people tend to not really care about Renat, even the chaperone, because what's one little rat? And so she's going to use that to kind of like move about more or less unnoticed and find people to start spreading the word.
All right, you're able to sneak around and get in places that other people might not be allowed in, and you can come and go more or less as you please. And allows that freedom of movement allows you to get a lot done. And you were able to spread the word about the spirits to quite a few people and share a few words and how to contact them. And I will. However, you do notice that the Inquisitors are out and about, and they're looking for whoever's going around spreading these heresies, and they're getting pretty active. And one of the things that you happen to notice is that Koro is arrested by the enforcers and carried away to be questioned by the Inquisition. I claim the number 6.
They
Leave
probably
my game
also
session
know.
early, will ya?
I'll stand up.
All right, roll the dice. 4.
Dun dun dun. Is this a good time to ask for spirits to
Yeah.
aid us?
Yes.
It doesn't really help in this case. No, you can't. It has to be after you place a token, so not after you find out what your dice roll is. So I don't think you have a way to deal with this that I could think of. I'm holding the resistance token, so I get to do the rerolls, not you. You rolled my number, so you either have to take a loss here, and I will achieve my objective of your characters getting found out as the ones spreading this, and you won't get the word out to very many people, or you can sell out a conviction to win anyway. This scene, this struggle won't count towards the final episode total, for or against you, and you'll achieve your hope by permanently selling out one of your convictions. What would you like to do? Take the loss or sell out?
You know what?
And the sellout is up to Chris, right? Because he's the one that rolled.
That's right.
Yeah.
Decision is totally up to Chris.
You know what? Let's go for the drama. I'll take this L.
Oh, okay.
That would have been my vote too.
So yeah, with Koro taken, they hold out as long as they can against the questioning of the Inquisitors, but no one can hold out against the Inquisition indefinitely, and they are is so far within their temple Inquisition torture zone dungeons or whatever that you have no hope of getting to him in time, and he tells them everything, including a whole bunch of spirit words.
No, Koro.
Doesn't he know what they say about snitches?
Yeah.
Damn.
You can take it up with him if he's ever let out of the dungeons. And since you lost this scene, this struggle, you get the resistance token. So that will come into play in the next scene, and you'll be able to use it to re-roll the dice if you don't like what you rolled. And there we go. End of the third scene then. Let's do our reflection question. Just one. Who would like to do a reflection question? Again, these are like, how do you feel about what just happened? What has changed about how you feel about the authority or one of the youthful offenders? Or what would you like to do next? Or what's changed about your beliefs and values? Stuff like that.
And I can choose to like ask myself. You can choose to like ask your. Okay, because I'm going to answer for Renat as to how this has changed them.
Okay.
Learning about the primeval spirits has emboldened her a lot, because she's kind of clutching onto that as the source of her visions, and then that means that it's real, it needs to happen, this is what's supposed to happen, because that's what's supposed to happen, and so I'm gonna help make it happen. She's a lot more resolved despite the stutter. It might not look good on the outside.
Let's roll right into scene 4 then. The theme of this scene is we're losing, where the authority hits back hard.
Well, that was an appropriate time to take that L.
Yeah, so let's do another friendship question before we go into the episode. The scene. I can remember my terms of a game that I wrote a bunch of stuff for.
No, I asked a friendship question first last time, right? Yeah, I did.
I think the only person who hasn't asked one is Ava, but she also just did the reflection one. So the floor is open to anybody. So,
Righty. Asan. Which spell backfired and how did it affect you?
Which spell of yours backfired?
Yeah. And how did it affect you?
I found I had a crush on a cute little bird, and you actually cast your mind reading and saw when I was about to go up to her and talk to her, and you laughed so hard, and you're like, "Get it!" And that ruined everything for me, and I could never talk to her or look her in the eyes again.
Uh,
I love it.
Varini's a cock block confirmed.
uh, all right. So in the story, you discovered an exploit, the primeval spirits. You've used it to work against the authority. It's not gone unnoticed, and yeah, one of your own has been taken and questioned and ultimately spilled their guts. So, wow, this year's Festival of Gears turned out to be more excitement than you signed up for. You've actively worked against the authority of your god, and the Inquisition has not been idle. They've noticed signs of your activities, they're watching, and they're hunting you. So, take some time to play through a scene. Say, yeah, you were able to fight back. That kind of felt good. You've got this sort of power under you, but your exploit gives you hope and maybe the feeling that the momentum is building. But you're also now being actively hunted, so you're on the run. In the first 5 seconds, the opening of this scene, what's going on and where are you? What are you doing?
So we're on the run. So
Or hiding out, perhaps.
Let's
You know the
hide in-
Inquisition's looking for you specifically now. Like your name is around posters.
I lift us up and hide us in the treetops, so that the branches and leaves are obscuring us. Maybe even I find an old beastkin owl hole in one of the trees, and we can take shelter.
cool beans. Like is this your? Do they call them roost? Like, what's the technical term for this? Varini's gonna ask Hassan. You're just gonna assume that you're constantly sleeping in one of these.
Your guest, the fugitive chipmunk, speaks a few words to the spirits, and the tree sort of shifts more to give you a little bit more comfortable space and to conceal things better.
Thanks, spirit. As I pointedly ignore the offensive question I was asked by my friend.
And this lull here, I will point out that there is still time to get in on our giveaway. Go ahead and type hashtag RemPC in the chat for an entry. Donate to our GoFundMe. $1 gets you an entry. Subscribe. That gets you one. Let's see. Cheering 100 bits gets you another one. You do have to stick around to the end in order to be eligible for the drawing. And what time are we ending this?
An
how do I
hour.
have it written? What's that?
We have half an hour.
Half an hour. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I should keep things rolling then. I think we'll have time for that. Actually, shouldn't be any problem. I'm not going to speed things up though in the scene though. Well, we got time to resolve this.
Okay, we can't stay up here forever. What are we gonna do?
We gotta try again.
We know what we're doing.
Good, we don't have to hide.
No, that
Well,
means we
like,
really
we
have to
just need to be-
hide.
We just need to be unreachable. Like, gosh, if only you guys had.
If only we had wings.
Then how are we supposed to spread the word? If we're all in the sky.
Obviously, the bird is the word.
No.
I hate you, Chris.
Oh, I'm done. Thanks for the game.
My bad.
What about what about like the spirits? Like, is there a spirit of fire that can maybe like skywrite and be like, think the word, and we'll know that you're or say the word or whatever, and we'll know that you're an ally, and then we can communicate with you to fight back.
Oh yes, your mentor teaches you the right way to ask the spirits to do fancy flaming skywriting for you.
Nice.
I asked them to write penis.
So you use
I'm just spending my youth, okay?
You use ancient magics and powers of omnipotent spirits to write penis in the sky. Awesome.
I did. It's funny.
Are they omnipotent? Or just omnipresent?
We could ask.
Omnipresent, probably. It's hard to argue with the writer/prophet.
So skywriting, that's a good plan, right?
Lee?
All right, yeah, you've got the giant word flaming penis in the sky. You're sort of a bit
Whisper
surprised
this
that works.
word. Whisper this word to stand up against the evil guy.
And yeah, that seems to kick off a bit of a hornet's nest. You get word. Let's see, how does the word come to you? You're still looking out things. You can see kind of keeping tabs of what's going on, and someone who Renat had gotten the word to about the spirits comes and visits. They're a human by the name of let's see, let's give them a name.
Mora.
Mora? Okay, the human's name is Mora. She comes a bit short of breath, say, "Oh, you're here. Good. Oh, I wasn't sure. I knew this was the right tree, but you really can't tell from out there. Praise to the spirits. Worship the spirits. Sing and praise and chant hymns to the..." And the mentor goes, "No, the spirits are not gods. You ask the spirits, and you can be grateful to the spirits, but do not worship the spirits. Oh, I'm so sorry. I shall say the prayers of penance to the spirits." No, you don't understand. And
Small changes?
"Oh, there is something, but I have something urgent to tell you. Perhaps we can discuss my poor attempts at being a servant, worshiper of the spirits." Like, no. I'm like, okay. It's the enforcers. They're coming out in force. They're enforcing. Like a lot of them. They're knocking on doors. They're searching places, questioning people, taking them away in shackles. There's at least a dozen of them rounded up right now. Innocent people. They're going to be taken to the Inquisition, just like Koro.
Do something.
I only know some of the words for the spirits, but I couldn't think of any that would help. Not against a bunch of enforcers.
Verini is going to look at Asan and Renat and he thinks, well, maybe Asan's right. Maybe Asan's right. Maybe we shouldn't hide anymore, and maybe we should just, maybe we should get on the offensive and I don't know, jump these guys.
And the fugitive chipmunk mentor taps their cane on the against the wooden floor here and says, "Yes, the time has come to stand up to these enforcers, to show them and the gods they have no power here."
Do we have words to have the spirits help us fight?
"I shall teach you some words of battle." They teach you some words of battle. All sorts of useful things. Things that you hope probably aren't going to be useful, considering how nasty they sound, but...
Well, hey, maybe I have an idea. Why don't we kind of head this off because just releasing these prisoners doesn't solve the overlying problem. So maybe like while we are freeing while the spirits are helping free the prisoners, we can go like knock over the statue of the Yaratin, or I'm forgetting his name now. Or burn the church or something.
All right, so for your hope, I was going to suggest something like humiliating and stopping or defeating the enforcers, or rescuing the people that were rounding up for arrest. But you're like, Fragno, let's smash the temple.
I'd rather we
let's go
focus
right to
on freeing
arson.
the prisoners.
Yeah.
Let me fix my hair into a mohawk so I have a pink one.
So vandalism as well as rescuing people, I guess. All right. My objective is that you are going to be arrested and put on trial for apostasy. Because I'm no fun.
Well, of course not. You're the authority.
And since this is the we're losing scene where the authority is really flexing their stuff and hitting back hard, I will start by claiming the numbers 5 and 9. As you can hear the sounds of the enforcers' jackboots out in the street, and people screaming as their houses are being broken into and they're hauled out. And anyone who the enforcers think are at least even a little bit suspicious, they're arrested. They'll let the inquisitors sort it out. And,
Don't like that.
I don't like that either.
Hey. I don't go stealing the whole point for when you have to win the struggle to get that
Oh,
blue token.
It said 1-1. It said 1-1, and we were 2-1.
It's 2-1. I can see it right here. So nice try, Sarah. All right, special rules.
I guess it's not updating on mine.
Round robin. Everyone gets a turn before someone gets to go twice. You have your exploit specific bonus of after you place a token, you can remove one of the authorities tokens once during the whole struggle. If Ava had done that on her first turn, maybe you'd have won the last one. But maybe not either. Heretics and apostates. Oh, that's a new rule. Yeah, this just means by this point you've already crossed the line, whether the authority is completely aware of it or not yet. They are. The freedom is heresy rule, where I get to put down 2 numbers if you openly, publicly criticize God's temple, etc. That's gone now. You have the resistance token. You can use it to re-roll the dice, but then it goes to me. And yeah, there we go. So I've claimed the numbers 5 and 9. The enforcers are out arresting people, tearing them out of their homes. The flaming word penis is up in the sky. That apparently is agitating them quite a bit. And they don't like that at all. And
my words are weaponry.
Yeah, so
That is not how I pictured that being used.
Who would like to stand up?
I will stand up.
All right, roll the dice.
Got an 8. All right. I'm going to make illusionary flying dicks chase these dudes around. Flaming dick, like the word is fiery penis in the sky, right?
Yeah. All right, so there are illusory penises flying towards them, leaving behind these flaming rocket contrails. It definitely causes them to scatter and run for cover. But then they realize they're just penises. We have swords. They draw their swords and they start hacking at the flying penises. And before long, they realize they're illusions. And there must be sorcerers about. Arrest everyone. And that just riles them up even more. So now you've made them more mad, but it definitely slowed them down. I claim the number 7. Who would like to stand up?
I will.
Roll the dice. Aha! You rolled a
Oh.
9. I
Okay,
guess
but
you're
we
going to
have
be
the-
using the resistance
yeah.
token, aren't you? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and roll it again.
I'm not watching.
6. Ooh.
Okay.
All right. You're in the clear of the 6.
So Renat, let's see, using Oracle this time, through the teaching of the their mentor that we haven't even named yet, they've been able to reach a state where they can intentionally bring about these visions of the future, at least for like very short bursts. And so she uses that to figure out the exact time that like an enforcer's back is turned or inside a building grabbing more, and she darts in to unbind those that they'd already captured and free them.
All right. So you manage to sneak up and start unbinding people. They're helping. A couple of them start running away right away, but others start helping free some of the people who are still bound so they can get away faster. But only the first couple that got away, the first runners, get away clean before some of the enforcers turn and see what's going on here. Says, "Hey, stop that! Stop that!" They draw their swords and come rushing forward. Seems like they are going to interfere with your efforts to rescue people. And let's see, I'll have to claim the number 4.
Oh, that board is filling up really fast.
All right, Sarah, you're up. Unless you just like to let me win, that's fine too.
I mean, I don't want to just let you win, but I'm scared. So here we go. 2d6.
Don't forget, after you place a token. Oh, I don't like that at all. I'm going to use the resistance token.
Oh.
No, you big meanie.
All right. Go ahead
Just
and
roll it again.
Roll again.
Shit.
7. That's much better. All right. So you could either take the loss or sell out a conviction to win.
So tempted as I am for the character development to sell out, I want the drama of being tied 2 for 2. So we're gonna take the L.
Oh, all right.
Alrighty.
So go and describe what conviction you would try to use that isn't enough, and I'll describe how you all get arrested.
So while they were attacking and trying to stop the prisoners, I flew over to the church and tried to use my words are weaponry and said the word boom to try to blow up the building. So that clearly didn't work if you would like to take over narration.
Sure, it caused something to crack and break off, but you didn't realize that there would be like temple guards present, and one of them came rushing up behind you and smacked you, and you got knocked out. And Renat, you're there like trying to help out, but somebody like trips over you, and then you trip over them, and you're sort of in a tangle, and you find yourself arrested. And lastly, there is let's see,
Vareni.
So you're casting spells and doing things, and like one point you just turn around and there's the Inquisitor standing over you with their little magic detector thing glowing brightly. You! And they cast a spell which puts you in an anti-magic field and you're under arrest. Didn't know they could do that, did you? See, I can give people powers too.
I've met my match, it seems.
All right, so yeah, the resistance token is now gone forever. Well,
For this episode.
it's not used in the fifth and final scene. And in the fifth and final scene, it is the theme is who's winning. I think we'll skip the reflection phase because we're kind of short on time. But we won't skip the friendship question. Who wants to ask a friendship question? The final one of the episode as we go in tied 2-2. It's anybody's game. So that said, you do win on a tie. So if you sell out, you can take the win anyway for the episode, I guess. But that takes a little bit of the tension out of it. But
Hey, Rasan?
Renat?
Renat. I'm a son, but I just put an R in front of it.
Yes.
After all this, what do you think of me?
I don't think my opinion has changed much.
really,
You're
the whole flaming
you're-
penis thing doesn't change anything.
No. That feels pretty on brand. That's why, like, when Renat saw that, all she did was just kind of like shake her head and sigh. Yeah, her opinion has not changed at all. You're still just a troublemaker, and now I'm along for the ride again. Only it's very big trouble this time.
Very big trouble as we go into the scene of who's winning. You've been arrested and you're now on trial for apostasy. So this big group trial thing, the gibbets are already set up. Well, it's not really gibbets. There's this like sort of like big energy beam thing that if they push you into, you get disintegrated and reabsorbed by the gods or something or whatever. It's
So they say.
people scream when it happens, so it's obviously not pleasant. And then they're never seen or heard from again. And that's probably the punishment for apostasy, especially on the stage that you've done. And it's also one of those things where they're making a public spectacle of you, and the outcome is more or less predetermined. It's just a matter of they get to say their words and look all fancy, and then throw you in the light tube. So yeah, go ahead and describe what's going on at the beginning of this scene. Then, where are we at in this trial? Where are our characters, and how you doing?
Verini is he's trying to dramatically like go back over like magic law and seeing if they went through proper procedure and whatnot. I don't remember my rights being read or anything like that. He wants to like be their lawyer, essentially. Are you asking for us to stand up at this point? No.
City
no.
gods, we don't have rights.
Well, we fucking should. All right.
You know what? Since we're short on time, let's just go drive right into the struggle here on this. So, my objective, usually the objective in authority's objective can't be to kill people off, but it's a one shot. And the stakes are high. So my objective is that you're all thrown into the disintegration tube. As is proper for apostates such as yourselves.
I have a good one.
What's your hope?
The one that I'm putting forward is that we cause the crowd that is gathered to riot, to turn on the enforcers or inquisitors, whoever's doing this.
Okay.
I mean,
Does it
yeah, I
sound
was gonna
good?
go with surviving, but that's great too.
I mean, surviving's a given if you win. So
Yeah.
you get something on top of surviving. All right. So you're all on trial for For apostasy, the evidence is strong against you, especially since even the day after, in broad daylight, the flaming word penis still remains in the sky. No one really knows how long it's going to last. But none of the prayers or ceremonies or rituals have had any effect on the flaming penis in the sky. It's just persistent.
It's my legacy.
So, right. All right, so round robin is still in play. You still have your exploit specific bonus where you can call upon the primeval spirits to undermine the power of the gods and remove a authority token from the board. The resistance token is gone, but now there's a new rule called desperate circumstances. This is a desperate battle. You're going to have to put it all on the line if you hope to win. When I take my turn, unless you use your disorder or a soul-out conviction on your turn, I get to claim 2 numbers. If you use your disorder or a soul-out conviction, then I only get to claim 1 number. Keep in mind you can only use each conviction once per struggle. So if all you have is your disorder, you'll only have 1 sort of safe option to use. And I will open by saying you're all on trial for major crimes. You can see that like big old disintegration beam powered up. You can recall the sounds of the many times you've heard someone scream as they've been tossed in to be reabsorbed and utterly destroyed by the gods in final judgment. And that's apparently where you're potentially headed, very likely headed. As I claim the number 6, who would like to stand up?
I would like to stand up.
Roll the dice. 8.
Alrighty. And I would like to use knowledge. So essentially describe what I was talking about before. So I would be trying to argue our case. So it's like you can't just toss us into the god straw over here. Like like we you have no proof that we did anything wrong. You can't prove that it was me or any of us that wrote flaming penis in the sky.
The high priest turns and says, "We do not require proof. We are guided by Yarazan. Yarazan will provide us with the answers." And the priest goes up to this sort of large, it looks like a giant, like classic style metronome thing with a pendulum thing swinging. And he says, "Oh, great Yarazan, are these people guilty of apostasy?" And he gives it a push and it sort of swings back and forth for a while and settles on yes or guilty. Yarazan has spoken. That is all the proof we need. And yeah, realizing what sort of trial you're in, I claim the number 7. Who would like to stand up?
You actually get 2 because that was not a sold out conviction.
Oh, thank you.
And I would like to stand up.
Damn it, Chris! I already said me.
I raised my hand first. I just didn't want to talk over him. Yeah, but I didn't. I waited for him to stop speaking first.
Fine, go.
So who's standing up, Ava?
Yeah. When can I choose to get rid of one of your tokens on the board?
After you place a token. So you've got to make it through the dice roll first.
Okay.
Oh, 5. Okay. So, if you were going to call upon the primeval spirits to undermine the power of the gods, now would be the time to do it.
Yes, and that is precisely what I am going to do. I'm going to use my disorder. What has been will be again. And Renat straightens her shoulders, makes herself as tall as she possibly can, as she looks out and she's addressing the crowd of people. And for once, her voice is like loud and clear. She's not stuttering. the gods are not all powerful. They are not what has always been here. They are not what will always be here. The spirits that have had this place, they belong to this place, have been suppressed by the gods, and she's going to call upon the spirits to put that truth into everybody's head, to prove it to them, give them either a note. She's going to have ask the spirits to give everybody present the one prophecy that she's always had, and that of this space when the city is gone, that it will be gone in the future.
Right, yeah, so everyone receives that vision and all reels from that, and there's this huge silence where there is suddenly a lot of commotion. And go ahead and knock
get
off
rid of 7.
7. Okay. And you rolled a 5. Got it. So you use your disorder. Okay. So
Yes.
So yeah, that causes people to start to wail and shriek, and some people say, it's true, and then the high priest calls it, no, these are false visions. The spirits will misguide you. Trust in Yarazon, trust in the gods. Throw these apostates into the tube. And it seems like they've decided to wrap up the ceremony and toss you in before you can cause any more trouble. And I will go ahead and claim the number 4.
My turn.
All right, Asan, go ahead and roll the dice. 4.
Yes. Shit.
No.
You're going to have to take the loss of the scene and the episode or sell out.
I'm going to sell out.
All right, which conviction are you selling out?
I'm going to sell out my my disorder.
You can't sell out your
My
disorder.
snake oil. Oh, you can't. Oh.
Well, that's the last one you can sell out. When you do that, it's game over.
Then let's see. Quick use. Okay, sneaky includes my wit, so I think I'll do that. So what I'm going to do is kind of using what they've kind of started here, and as the authority says, throw them into the tube. I go, yes, throw us into the tube, because without followers, the gods have no power. The gods need worshiper in order to maintain their strength. So if you end us, you have nothing. And kind of like bring up what Ratan?
Renat.
I can't. Renat. What Renat brought up with this isn't how it will always be, and be like, the future is here. The future is happening today, and it starts with all of us in here.
All right, and I think I'll wrap this up by saying they throw you all into the tube. However, what happens instead of you being obliterated is the you feel intense heat and light and sound. There's a rushing sound, but then it suddenly stops, and there's a big astonished sound, and the high priest falls over, grasping his chest, suffering a heart attack as he witnesses the god tube disappear and the people thrown into it having been unharmed. And you win the episode. It's 2-2, but tie goes to Youthful Offenders with 1 sold-out conviction. That's a very clean win. So if we were doing a longer-term campaign, you would consider this to be one of your most successful results.
Yeah, so it's all downhill from there.
Oh, no.
So I think
I think we're about ready for the giveaway.
So
Yes.
I won't do any more wrap up. If this were a campaign, you would destroy a system of control or authority figure or gain a new exploit.
I think that would be the high priest.
You destroy the high priest. He just died. Yeah. Fair enough. We'll sort of speed through that, and yeah, let's do the giveaway. I think Tom, are you gonna drum roll?
Drum roll.
Here's the hit. I think that was a hi-hat.
Was it a comedic drum roll?
Could have been a splash cymbal.
And our winner is. By the way, the prize is the liquid soap 8 ounces from
Yes.
Pure Alchemy Soaps. It's me. Oh, how can I win?
Wow, congrats.
Go ahead. Thanks. Yeah, we might recycle that, but we'll figure that out later because we're over time. So, cool. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll be right back with Blades
Blades in the
in the
dark.
Dark.
In the dark.
Awesome. Stay tuned,
And Chris
everybody.
and I will be there.
Thank you.